The US dollar is flexing its muscles. Oil prices are trading lower, and Wall Street is anticipating crucial data on consumer inflation. Here is a red-hot review of US markets. The stock market is trading quietly amid the jitters in the currency and commodity markets. Major stock indexes closed in the red on Monday. The Dow Jones dropped 0.5% and the Nasdaq slumped 2.3%. The S&P500 shed 1.2% to close at 3,854 points. Futures on the key stock indexes were trading lower in the Asian and European sessions. However, they reversed upwards in the New York pre-market. The intraday carried off for the S&P is seen between 3,790 and 3,940 points. The decline on Monday was driven by high-tech stocks. The Nasdaq is the most vulnerable to the risk of mood. Investors are reluctant to buy shares of the high-tech giants until they get to know quarterly reports and updated forecasts. On the other hand, investors are worried about renewed COVID restrictions in China, disruptions in supply chains, and prospects of a low global demand. Wall Street is set to trade quietly until the US will release the long-awaited inflation data on Wednesday. Analysts have detected some signs that inflation rates are decelerating, especially in the energy and commodity sectors. Nevertheless, analysts expect an elevated CPI for June. The annual CPI rate could have increased to 8.8% from 8.6% in May. The actual reading will clear up the question about the bottom on Wall Street. Shares of the companies with a mega capitalization were trading mixed in the New York pre-market. Traders are monitoring the standoff between Elon Musk and Twitter. The management of the social media platform, whose shares lost 10%, claimed that they did not violate obligations on the acquisition deal. Besides, Twitter is going to file a lawsuit this week. Pepsi is one of the first companies to report on their financial results. Net profits increased 5.2% to $20.23 billion in the second quarter, stronger than the forecast of $19.5 billion. Moreover, PepsiCo upgraded the revenue forecast for 2022 because consumers buy frizzy drinks and snacks despite high inflation. Pepsi shares rose 1.3% in the pre-market. The US dollar index is drifting lower. It looks like a breather amid a stunning rally. The corridor for the index is defined between 107.80 and 108.30. The US currency is the main beneficiary of global fears. On the back of economic turbulence, the euro touched the parity level with the US dollar for the first time in 20 years and quickly rebounded. How the euro is reviving. Nevertheless, the euro is set to remain at the lowest levels in 20 years. The yen seems to be trapped at 24 years lows against the US dollar in the medium term. Global investors are unnerved because some Chinese cities, including financial hub Shanghai, are reimposing COVID restrictions this week. The USD CAD pair is extending its climb as projected. The currency pair is likely to trade in the corridor between 1.2980 and 1.3060. Tomorrow, the Bank of Canada is due to unveil its decision on the key interest rates. Consumers raised their inflation expectations to record highs. As for the labor market, the unemployment rate remained at a record lows despite unexpected job losses. Under such economic conditions, the Bank of Canada is widely expected to raise the overnight target rate by 75 basis points. The hawkish central banks cannot offset the influence of the strong US dollar and the falling oil prices. The loonie lacks support from the commodity market. Today, oil is trading lower due to the energy crisis in Europe, recession risks, and waning momentum in the manufacturing sector. Thus, WTI dropped 4.85% to trade at $99.09 a barrel, and Brent crude shed 4.62% to trade at $102.16 a barrel. The crypto market is trading in the sync with the stock market. As expected, Bitcoin could not settle at 20,500 and retreated to $19,800. Currently, the token is making efforts to avoid a deeper drop to $19,500. Most large Bitcoin miners working in Texas suspended activities because the state is braced for electronic blackouts. The founders of bankrupt crypto hedge fund Three Arrow Capitals haven't been cooperating in the firm's liquidation process, and users of Uniswap, the largest decentralized crypto exchange operating on Ethereum blockchain, fell prey for a sophisticated phishing attack, losing about $8.1 million. Crypto investors seem to be immune to such bad news. Bitcoin is expected to trade in the corridor between $19,500 and $20,400 today. Trade at a profit with the InstaForex, and we will keep you updated on all important news. See you tomorrow.